past couple of times where Ryan and I have had some really great stuff, and Chris is just sitting there, not hitting the button.
Chris, are you taping or not taping? Because we should crush him for buying the QLED, which is a scam.
This is being recorded on tape.
Okay, good. Because the QLED scam. That is what you sell to people who don't want to spend the money to go up to OLED, but it lets you extort an extra $300.
It sounds like an upgrade.
Just bought the normal 4K UHD with local bidding.
None of this matters. It was Black Friday. It was heavily discounted. I'm very happy.
Which playoffs would those be? Are those the curling playoffs that you looks like you have a towel in the back? Or something that says 2019 playoffs. Was that from the Swedish National Games? Or was it from soccer?
Flat skiing?
It's the Phoenix soccer team in the USL, the league underneath Major League Soccer.
Wow, that must be some quality. Do they relegate up and down? Like Major League, the last team in the Major League Soccer gets relegated down to the...
It's America. They don't do relegation. They do the thing where sometimes they expand the league instead.
You go back to middle school. Thomas, Jonathan was admiring that beautiful entertainment center. It is I will say it's a mild upgrade from the ladder.
From the what?
From the ladder.
The ladder.
Oh, right.
You act like you don't know what I'm talking about. For weeks, all you had behind you was a ladder.
Well, hold on. What kind of ladder? Because I just bought myself a fancy pants ladder, and it's the most exciting purchase I've made in the last month.
Okay, I want to hear all about it, and I'm not even kidding, because I've learned so many things from you, JVL, about zipper garages and just like what makes something great. Like what makes a great ladder?
Mattresses,
yeah, fluid absorbency, the whole thing. What was tell us about your ladder?
Mattresses makes a great ladder.
Tell us about your ladder spreadsheet.
So I need a ladder because we had to install a ninja line between a couple of trees in the backyard. You guys are familiar with ninja lines, right? A ninja line is just another term for slack line. Slack line is a very Matthew Robarts thing. It's what the hippie hiker outdoorsy people do, and you spread. Imagine a seatbelt. Now imagine a seatbelt that is 60 feet long that you can wrap around two trees and then use a ratchet to get like 750 pounds of tension on. And you could walk on it and bounce up and down on it, and
Isn't this what they use on college lawns, college quads? They will put those up between trees and just like walk around, or is that something else?
Yeah, I think so.
Is this high off the ground or pretty close to the ground?
Well, it's about 15 feet off the ground now because we are not allowing the children to climb on it. We're hanging swings and stuff from it for them to play on.
Oh, okay. I see.
And so I tried putting it up with my normal, stupid 25-year-old Werner 7-foot ladder. Huge mistake. Very bad. Almost died. And so I realized I need another ladder for the job. And so I went out and got myself a little giant multi-position ladder.
From Lowe's?
Oh.
Is that the movie where Rick Moranis and his older brother play midget football? And
so have you never seen the
that.
TV infomercials for the little giant ladder system?
No. But I've seen Tom Izzo dance on a ladder.
It is something else. So this thing, so I got it from the Amazon. Lord Bezos sent it to me. And all folded up, it's really short. It's 5 feet 5 inches or something like that, right? And then the first position is you can unfold it to an A shape, and it's like, hey, it's a normal ladder. But then you undo a couple of things, and it slides up until it becomes, I want to say, like a 12-foot A-frame ladder. But then you can pop it all the way out flat, and it's a 22-foot extension ladder. And there's even another position where you can bring it down so that you form an isosceles triangle, so that if you want to get right up against a wall, because that's the thing that kills you with an A-frame ladder, right? You're trying to do something high up on a wall, and you're leaning over. It is amazing. If you want to put it on stairs, you can shorten up the feet on one side and elongate on them on the. This thing is amazing.
I actually have a ladder like this. The one catch is that it's 1,000,000 pounds. It is. So I'd imagine yours is considerably lighter.
40 pounds.
Okay.
It's not light, but it does have wheels on two of the legs, so you can roll it around. The big drawback is, I would say, you should be careful not to pinch your finger.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of pinch points.
As you adjust it, like you got to pop it out on either side, and then you kind of slide it and goes, boom. Yeah. I agree. I've been pinched many times.
Ladder talk is hot.
It's hot stuff.
Oh, ladder talk is so hot. So Thomas, can we talk about the orgies?
What is Hot Fauci deemed the limit for orgies right now?
What's the maximum amount of people
in non-essential orgies?
Oh, we're not talking essential
deputy orgies. Or our deputy state epidemiologist.
Yeah, Hot Fauci.
There's no way he's given up orgies. I don't believe that for a second.
Well, no,
have you seen Hot Fauci from Sweden, JVL?
No. Is Swedish hot? Does she look like?
Oh no, it's a he.
It's actually
he's got a little salt and pepper going on, and he throws around trees in the woods.
Does he look like Fassbender?
I haven't seen him below the waist. To be
I
honest.
hear that Fassbender could go to an orgy and bang a girl while still maintaining social distance. Is that not true? Same thing with Milton Berle.
Really?
You remember? Do you know?
I've heard that.
I don't want to say names. You guys will know who I'm talking about. Anybody who's listening to the show who knows me will know who I'm talking about. But I'm going to hide the name of my comedian friend. So my comedian friend, upon Milton Berle's death, told me the best Milton Berle joke ever. The punchline of which is, "Hey, Milt, just take out enough to win."
Oh. I've heard that. I heard it from on like some other comedian told that on a podcast.
Oh God, the best.
Okay, Milton Berle v. Lyndon Baines Johnson. What do you think?
I think Milton Berle is the king. You'd have to get to like Shaq before there's any, or Greg Oden or something. You guys remember the Greg Oden and the meat bat? You got to get to that before there's.
Wait, I remember Greg Oden, but I didn't know that about Greg Oden.
Go Google Greg Oden. I believe he released a selfie into the wild.
Oh, okay.
I just remember his crumbling knees.
He was picked
remember
number one
ABD.
overall. I believe
very, very old.
Ryan? Ahead of Kevin Durant, Thomas's boy.
Yeah, that was I saw Oden play in high school, and in high school he looked like he was 50 years old.
I was going to say he was 42.
Yeah,
in high school.
Hey, do you remember when they used to take big men ahead of, talented slasher shooters like Kevin Durant?
It's different.
Remember
league.
that?
It's different league. So, Thomas, back to the orgies. So when you have your Midsommar out in Sweden, what's it going to be like? Is it going to be cray-cray? Are you guys getting any of the AstraZeneca that we don't want over here in America?
No,
along with like all the T-shirts that are pre-made for the teams that lose the Super Bowl. We'll ship them over to you, along with our AstraZeneca vaccines.
They updated the time schedule for vaccinations today, and they believe their ambition now is that by the end of August, everyone over the age of 18 should have been offered a vaccine.
Oh.
So this summer might be screwed.
At least in that timeline, the Atlanta Falcons defeated the New England Patriots.
No, but I was going to say, I believe the limit currently is 8. I think the limit on public gatherings is still 8.
Even if it's an orgy?
I mean, I don't see why you would discriminate between sexual and non-sexual activity.
What if they're all wearing masks? Hold on. What if they're all wearing GIMP masks, which are even more effective?
We don't do masks.
So I just
even for orgies. Have you not seen Eyes Wide Shut? It makes it hotter.
Oh, might consider it, Chris.
Just a few weeks ago, I mentioned the TV show Party Down, which Ryan has also seen. In that show, they're catering an orgy for Thomas Lennon, but it's like a failed orgy. Like he sent out these invitations and they thought it was just a masked party. And so he's just trying to get everyone. It's a fantastic episode of a very good show. Yeah. Thomas, do you need a countdown?
Can I just say first that I'm really excited that JVL is here, because it means that I don't have to do any of the intro or any of the hosting, because JVL will happily take over those responsibilities from me.
Yeah, that's right.
TREW. Sorry, I'm reading the keys on my keyboard. Let me try that again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now the story of an eclectic fan base who lost touch with reality, and the one podcast that somehow holds them all together. It's the Substandard Expanded Universe.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the SSEU Trash Can Pod. I'm going to count in a fun prime number sequence. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17. Now, should we keep going? No. You guys never count in primes, do you?
We have.
I did it in honor of Lord Besauce. What I did there.
Listen, if John Gruden starts counting in primes, then we're there.
How are you boys doing? Everybody okay?
We're great, but JVL, we don't want to hear about us. We want to hear about Flash and his adventures at the baseball pitch, baseball court,
Baseball
lawn.
pitch.
What do you call it?
really
the plate. At
green.
the plate. Get at the plate.
So, Christopher, you and Thomas should feel very, very blessed that, unlike Ryan, you don't get a series of texts from me in game with things like, "Holy crap, he just went yard again," because this is what Ryan has to live with from me. He's just at a different level than every other.
No, seriously,
kid we've seen.
you guys. I think you sent me a video. I think it was just one half inning of him pitching, and like JVL talks about how the other kids just have no chance, but then you see the video and these kids, they're not even the hitters. They're not even thinking about like trying to hit the ball. I swear they're thinking about going and getting another helmet, because when they do swing, like people make that joke about like, oh, you swung like when the catcher was throwing it back, but that's almost what it is when they do swing. It's like I couldn't, especially for like a travel league, I didn't expect to see him be like so dominant against what should be better talent than a little league. And it's a
Is he playing against kids his age, or how does this work? Okay.
No, so they have wanted to move him up. The travel organization he's in has wanted to move him up, and they were going to move him up 2 years. They wanted him to play on 14 this year. The truth is, he could have played on the 16 and 17-year-old team within our travel squad. There's a 100% chance he could have made that team. I do not like either the coaches or the kids or the parents in the 13 and 14-year-old group. There are a lot of people who seem to put a very great amount of stock in wins and losses of like child baseball, which I think is poisonous and I want no part of.
It's terrible.
The coaches like yell at the kids and stuff, and I'm just like, what? Guys, these kids are not getting paid. And so I kept him with the group that he's in. Because they're his age and the kids are great, the parents are great, and the coaches get it. And the coaches get it to such a degree that this is, Ryan, you'll appreciate this. We had this past weekend a game in which the umpire just miscounted strikes on one of the kids on Flash's team and had it at like 2, the count at 2-2. And our coach came up out of the dugout with the assistant coach saying, "We had that as the third strike blue." And, poor Alex had to go and sit down and strike out, even though he thought he was getting away with one, because that's the level of like caring that our coaches have. They don't really get upset about, when they lose or anything. So we got to understand he's 12 years old, and his fastball, when he's throwing only at 85 or 90%, is now like 73, 74 miles an hour. And he has another gear that he can go up to from there that we tell him not to throw in games. We just, there's no reason for him to throw as hard as he can. And the good pitchers we see at his level might throw 55. So it's just a different level. And at the game, so after the inning I sent you, Ryan, in the next inning, and I'm standing on their sidelines, I watched him do this. The other team's manager came out to his kids and told them, don't swing at anything. Just take, and maybe he'll walk you. And the kids walked up there, and they didn't even pretend. Like, they literally, like it's a cartoon, just sat there with the bat on their shoulder. And, so he struck out the side with that. And then the next inning he came in and he said, all right, everybody just do 2-strike approach. No loading up, choke up on the bat 3 inches and just swing. And so here's nobody likes bragging about their kids, but I do find it interesting. What you can tell is so different about him is he threw 80 pitches in this game, and batters made contact twice. So one kid was able to foul a ball backwards, and one kid put a ball in play. But that's about normal. So if, for every 60 to 80 pitches he throws, you'll see kids make contact of any sort, once or twice in a game. And that's it. He's never had a multi-hit game. He's never given up more than one hit in a game. And it's just because kids don't make contact. He's just, his ball is too fast and there's too much natural movement on it. Yeah, because it's, he's learning a slider and he's learning a curve, but we don't let him throw them in games because there's no need to monkey with it, right? Until you meet somebody who can catch up with you. And the other thing that's really unfair is that, right, I don't know if you could tell this, but he's still pitching from 50 feet. So he doesn't move back to the 60 feet until next year. Right. And this is why it is a little bit unfair for the other kids to have to face somebody with that much velocity from only 50 feet. So
I remember in our 12-year-old all-star team, for I think it was a practice or something, they brought out somebody brought a radar gun out, and our hardest throwers, I think I hit maybe 61 or something like that. Our hardest guy who we thought threw so hard, I think hit 62 or something like that. So we thought of that as almost unhittable or something like that. So I can't imagine 12-year-olds from 50 feet having to face.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And
miles an hour.
So the pitching academy he works out at during the week, they do everything from 60 feet. So that's the other thing. I mean, it's a little weird for him to, on game days for travel, to be moved into 50. I mean, he's really used to working on the 60-foot mound. But that's good. It'll help him when he's ready to make that jump up. But this is why, again, all the people in the organization wanted him moved up, and they said he's ready for the field. And I don't know. We don't know what his talent horizon is. We don't know, is he good enough to play college but not play minors? Who knows? All I really care about is he having fun and enjoying it? And I looked at the kids in these other two teams, the 13 and then the 14-year-old teams, because, I see them at practice, and these kids look like they are just dying to get out of there because their coaches are such a-holes.
Yeah, that's the
and I just thought, I don't
would...
want him in a place that's gonna make baseball not be fun. It's not a job. He's 12 years old, for Christ's sakes.
I mean, basically for me, from 12 years old on, baseball was not fun. It just, I was if I played well, it was just all anger because I hated my coaches so much at every level. It was all because the fake macho stuff and wins and losses just always just
wins and losses. It's the stupidest thing in the world, talking about wins and losses. But it is pretty fun when you go 5 for 7 with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs in an afternoon.
Yeah, it seems like
That's
you
a
guys
ton
are
of fun.
I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, he's killing it both pitching and hitting to the point where, I mean, was that 2 years ago? Shannon's videoing. She shared this video. She's videoing. He hits an inside the park home run, and, her ululations are like an Afghan horde coming, through the valley pass.
I remember that.
Like here she's like videoing. I saw 2 of the home runs, and she's just like, oh, you hit it out again? Oh. Good job, Flash. Like it was like she'd, I know they say act like you've been there before, but it was just a little much, if you ask me.
I did have to talk to him. One thing I had to talk to him about after the game was I said, you got to hustle around those base paths. When you go yard, you don't. He wasn't dogging it. And I said, but I said, look, someday somebody's going to go yard on you, big guy, and if they run around the way you did, you're going to be pissed and I'm going to hear about it. So just, run the way you would want the guy who just hit a jack off of you to run. Get it? See what I did there?
Did you guys watch any grown-up baseball today?
Indeed.
I watched like a half an inning, and I'm so despondent because we have 2 tickets to the Nationals Mets on Saturday. And there's a COVID outbreak in the Nationals organization. Today's Nationals Mets game was canceled. I bet you Saturday's is going to be canceled. And I don't know, like, what idiot hasn't been vaccinated? I mean, what if you're in a pro sports league and you haven't been vaccinated? I don't understand how that works.
I hear there are a lot of loopholes to get a vaccine. So if you haven't gotten it so far, sorry, that's a really inside joke.
Did you boys watch? Did the Twinnies play today?
The Twins played, yeah. Josh Donaldson was their big signing, not this past offseason, the signing before, the offseason before, one of the top 2-way third baseman in the league. An amazing signing for them. The only reason he didn't get a ton more money is his age. Well, he missed like half of last season with a calf strain. And in the first inning, he was legging out a double. And he came up limping, and that was kind of the he made it half of an inning into the season. So hopefully he's okay. And then I'm not kidding. I just hope that he missed like literally like 7 weeks last year.
How old is he now?
I want to say like 31.
He's Greg
32.
Oden's age.
But that would be really bad for them if he's going to be missing time. With a calf. So
he had one of my most favorite tweets over the offseason when he was like basically saying that like the difference between a good fielding shortstop and third baseman is like basically negligible, and he doesn't know why shortstops get so much more praise than third baseman. And I think he was right. I think the analytics bear that out, but I hope he's not.
They require different skills is what it is. I don't know if
yeah.
He's 35, so he's kind of a late bloomer.
I hope he's not having Joey Votto disease, because I watched Votto have an at bat today, and he's by far my favorite player of the last 2 decades, and I think he's mostly done.
Is he done?
I think so.
You watched Jason's dog have an at bat?
Yes, I watched Jason's dog have an at bat. He's done. Jason's dog is done.
I'm very excited for the baseball season. JVL, how many games do you think you'll get to? Nats games.
Hard to say. The way it is working so far, they release so they come to you at the beginning of the month. They say, here we're going to let you get up to X number of games that you can select to take your tickets for, because I have a half season plan, and I was able to find 3 games that we could make for April, and I'm hoping that in May we might be able to get maybe 5 games. I'd be very excited about.
What is the capacity right now? Is it
5,000? 5,000 fans.
That's one of the lowest in the league, I think.
Didn't I see that the Rangers opened it up to full capacity?
Full capacity. Because
I mean, like something like 12% of Texas has been vaccinated. So
It's just performative, right? I mean, they're not only 12% capacity, but they're also they're gonna have anti-vaccine passports. You can't come to the ballpark if you've gotten the vaccine, because they're gonna show what real Americans do down in Texas. And you got to bring your AR-15 with you. It'd be great.
Jonathan, I know you've been behaving and have not been on Twitter, but your favorite congresswoman, your congress lady, posted a video of herself working out with the caption, "This is my COVID, like this is my vaccination, like staying healthy."
Oh,
Hashtag fire Fauci.
Oh yeah, fire Fauci. Yes, hashtag fire
And then
Fauci.
she did the most dangerous looking squats and pull-ups I've ever seen in my life. There's no way that that's safe.
Everything about it was insane. Everything.
Yeah.
well, if you'll remember, the United States Surgeon General under the former guy came out and said to, I think it was Face the Nation. It was on one of the other shows, and said that, really the insanely great physical condition that the president of the United States at the time was in made it that he didn't really worry about him getting COVID. And I'm the one who didn't get into medical school. It's great. It's great. It's great. In her video, was her tantric sex buddy there or no?
I think
No.
she was alone.
He might have been videoing.
He might have been running the camera.
Behind the camera. Yeah.
Family values. Family values. Got to protect our values.
Yeah, I
Real
will say that
America.
I will say that I am jealous that you guys are allowed to start having some attendance in your stadiums. The Swedish hockey season enters its playoff next week, and we're also about to start the soccer season. But there are 50 people allowed currently in the stands,
50?
regardless of size. 50.
Even in the open air for soccer?
Yeah.
How do the 50 get chosen?
It's usually the club hands them out to loyal supporters or gives them the chance to buy them if they want.
People they hate. Go watch Swedish soccer. All right, can we move on to the questions for JVL segment?
Yeah, I'm ready. Locked, cocked, and ready to rock.
So I got a bunch, but Thomas, far be it from me to interrupt anything.
Okay, well, I can start with one. JVL, in your ideal watch porn, who are the women or men, and what have they got on their wrists?
I think I talked about this on an episode of the Sub Beacon many, many moons ago, because I had this one crazy watch porn dream in which I was at a hotel with my lovely bride, and I was just flipping through the hotel cable and came upon hotel porn. But in the porn, it was all chick on chick, and they were all wearing super expensive watches, and the camera did a lot of like deep focus. So it was really hardcore stuff, like right on into the watch faces while the girls are going, just going to town on each other. And the best part of this dream, really the best sex dream I've ever had, was that in the dream, Shannon was into it. She wasn't even just tolerating it. She was like, "Oh, I see what you mean about the facets on those indices now." I was like, "Yeah."
See that dial?
Yeah. Look at the mirror polish finish there. Is that Zaratsu?
Can I have your loop?
Yeah. Yeah, baby. So yes, in my ideal, I want to say it's like Emily Ratajkowski and Trisha Helfer, and one of them is wearing an Amiga Seamaster, and the other one is wearing I don't know, probably the Grand Seiko Snowflake. Not that I've ever thought about this before.
Okay, Chris, shoot with your questions.
Have you heard about the news that Netflix just greenlit the second and third installments of the Knives Out trilogy? $400 million going to produce these two films, directed and written by Ryan Johnson and starring James Bond. James Bond is doing deep cover. I don't know how long he can stay in deep cover as a Southern gentleman. But my question for you is, if Ana de Armas isn't puking, are you interested in watching a Knives Out sequel?
So I
Or two
never
of them.
finished Knives Out. I started Knives Out and I liked it a great deal. And then one of you three, I don't remember who it was, said that the second half of it was horrible. And so I just never went back.
It was that guy.
So I never, I look,
Oh,
Chris,
come
I
on.
take what you say seriously. So I literally never went back to the movie because you said it was terrible.
I didn't know I was ruining it. For some reason, I thought you finished it. I didn't realize that you only
No.
watched the first half.
Why I wouldn't say that if you're right, then you didn't ruin it. You just saved my time. And
He
to which I'm
did.
grateful.
He did.
He
It's fine.
didn't. He didn't. No.
Does
Ryan,
Ana, does Ana de Armas get naked in the second half?
No.
Yeah. All right. So,
but she throws up. Is that hot?
I mean, there are people who will pay double for that kind of action.
But do you think it is reasonable to toss 200 million per movie? Like,
For
it sounds
a
insane to me.
special effects laden murder mystery. I think that this is, see, I had thought that the Drunken Sailor era of Netflix acquisitions was winding to a close since they have won and it was
Just
all
starting.
over. But I mean, that Rian Johnson was able to make them cough this up while he's basically in movie jail, right? I mean, I don't get it. But,
well, here's the thing, and this for some listeners may or may not involve Ana de Armas, but
What did that movie make? Hold on,
hang on, Ryan.
Good.
I just want to point this out. Again, keep Ana de Armas in mind. That the reason it costs this much money is to pay the talent. There's no back end, so to speak.
Well, this is the Netflix model, right? You pay a premium for production because nobody gets a percentage because you own the intellectual property. And this is going to change. I don't know if you guys care about this or not, but it's going to change everything about Los Angeles because LA is full of people
Right.
who
Yeah.
made one
Cashing
or two
checks,
movies
yeah.
once upon a time and found that's actually enough to live a pretty comfortable lifestyle, right? And that's kind of cool. That's always been one of the cool things about LA, and so during my LA days when I go out and crash, I'd be with, like the daughter of some director who had like done 2 movies and then just got like $20,000 a month every month for the rest of his life because of this.
Or if you have a
Yeah.
show that goes into syndication, just like being a
God,
writer.
if you have
Yeah.
that, then you have like real money, right? But
Yeah.
you could live normal upper middle class life just having gotten been in one successful thing that was enough points. Anyway, and a lot of this was union. The union would have minimums on this and to keep the studios in line. And it's going to change if the intellectual property then becomes the sole property of the streaming service itself. That's going to change everything about the town. And I think probably for the worse.
Especially if you're on streaming TV, because the Netflix model is to do like 2 or 3 seasons, and then when the talent gets expensive, you cut them loose and just stop the
Do
series.
something- Yeah.
Right.
Ryan, do you have
You
the
guys know
numbers?
do you guys know what the budget was for the first Knives Out?
80?
65,
I would guess
I was
80.
gonna say.
It looks like an $80 million movie.
$40 million. It made
Wow.
domestic and international combined. It made $311 million.
Yeah.
They
So,
just coughed up $400 million for 2 more.
Well, they'll get a good 36 hours of big buzz on Netflix for that. And,
It'll be a Netflix top 10.
And they will put out a press release saying that it is the most successful original theatrical length murder mystery that they've ever run in terms of the percentage of first 20 seconds watched. Right.
It is auto played on 200 million screens.
I thought
So I assume some of that has to be for getting the rights to put the first one on Netflix, and then. But still, I can't see how
it's
that can be worth
still
it.
crazy. But people watch garbage. Like, go on any given day, go and look at the Netflix top 10 and see what people watch. and you will be horrified.
So I have a follow-up question and for Jonathan about the economics of Hollywood. What would the pandemic have done to the entertainment industry, movies and television, if there weren't multiple streaming options, HBO Max, Prime, Netflix, Disney Plus, and all the other ones, the Cock, Paramount Plus? Like, what if it had come in 2005 or 2015, even 2015 when there were fewer? What would it have done to the industry, do you think?
Yeah, the industry would be in much better shape now. They would have taken a huge hit. But both the studios and the exhibitors were in a much stronger financial position. They had bigger reserves of cash, and they would have simply come back. They would, would have been like hitting pause in the industry for 18 months, and then they would have come back. Instead, what you're going to have is essentially nuclear winter. I really don't think people appreciate how the level of sea change that is happening. Like, theatrical is dead now. We will be very, very lucky if a few boutique. I feel like somebody said that this was going to happen in February of a year ago. But I could be wrong. And it's really bad. It's going to result in worse movies. And it's also going to change the kinds of movies that get made. Because when you are making a movie for a streaming service and for the small screen, you can get away with spending a lot less money on effects because your eye can't tell the difference, right? Your eye knows the difference between $100 million in special effects and $200 million in special effects when it's on IMAX. Your eye doesn't know that when it's on a 70-inch OLED, right?
How about an iPhone?
But the other thing is tent, right? So we are gone from tent poles. So where it made sense to spend $200 million on an Avatar, right? That doesn't make any sense now. What the hell does that? The blockbuster model doesn't make any sense now.
They're putting out the Godzilla versus King Kong on
straight to HBO Max.
HBO, yeah. At the same time,
but this is a movie that won't get made in the world of streaming. The big tentpole movies like this aren't going to happen. I'm very interested to see. The most interesting question here in all of this, I think, is what happens to the Marvel franchise, and does the Marvel franchise go from being the crown jewel of all motion picture economics to just another thing? Because
the Friday night episodes released on Disney Plus,
right? Friday night episodes released on Disney Plus that can't be done at the same budget, right? And that it ultimately devalues the IP. I mean, that's the real question here. The movies were always the sort, movies are big cultural events. The fact that they're big cultural events is what makes their intellectual property valuable. And once they stop being big cultural events and they're just content, then does anybody need to buy the lunchbox with the King Kong and Godzilla on it? Is anybody begging their parents to take them to Universal Studios so that they can ride the King Kong versus Godzilla ride? Or does all that go out the window and it's just like Stranger Things? Stranger Things is the most culturally successful show in the history of Netflix. And what did they get out of it? A Lego set and a couple of Funko Pops, right? I mean, that's it. That's the extent of their footprint.
What I hear you saying is that essentially this is the worst time for this to happen because both Disney Plus and HBO Max were essentially launching during the pandemic. And so as a way to strengthen them, and because there was no revenue stream in the theaters, that they were releasing, Soul and Onward and these other HBO Max that were Wonder Woman 84. These would have been like $800 million global box office that they went straight to streaming. Where if this happened in, say, 5 years, there would have already been, or maybe some of these would have come and gone, but they wouldn't have been so quick to put these straight to streaming to get subscribers to HBO Max and other things. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. What I am saying is that it would have been better if this had happened 15 years ago. I don't know if it would have been better 5 years from now. It might have been worse. But this is, the other thing is the economics of the streaming stuff are weird because they're divorced from actual like income and outflow. They're based around things like stock prices, which in the tech world, have nothing to do with anything, right? It's just funny money. It's like price times earnings. And, Hollywood does not live in that world. Like Comcast, actually, their stock price is tied to their performance. Same thing for Disney. That is not true of Netflix. That is not true of lots of places. AT&T wants to be in that, right? And so the whole thing is it's bad for everybody.
Chris reminded me of the shit show that is Wonder Woman 84, so I want to move on from this. Chris, other questions?
I have more, but the next one, believe it or not, would take even longer to answer. So I'll let you go for a
How
little
about you
while.
ask it and I don't answer it?
Well, what I was going to do is I was going to run through a list of movies that are coming out this year and ask you thumbs up, neutral, or thumbs down on whether or not you're excited to see this movie.
That sounds like a great bit. We'll do it later. All right, Thomas.
Okay.
See, I'm hosting for you.
No, I have a bunch of questions about sitcoms for JVL, but I figured we'd do those after. So carry on, Chris.
Yeah, you ready for this?
Okay. I'll give
Okay.
you thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. You can go neutral too. You can kind of push. So April 23rd, Mortal Kombat. Thumbs up.
Is
Can
Mrs.
you-
Pete Sampras in this one too?
I don't know.
Is she in
I
the
doubt it.
1990s one?
Fuck
Bridget,
yeah,
Bridget
baby.
Wilson, is that her name? Wilson?
No.
What's her name?
I thought that was her
Whatever.
name.
Her name is Mrs. Pete Sampras. That's her
Okay.
name.
Okay. So you're gonna have to say thumbs up because
Okay. Oh, right. Nobody else can see us. That's right. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs way up.
April 23rd, same day, Amazon Prime essentially purchased this without remorse. This is a Michael B. Jordan, starring adaptation of a Tom Clancy novel.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2 thumbs way down. I have not seen anything. Nothing good has ever come of a Tom Clancy novel since Patriot Games.
Yeah, that's right.
May 7th, Wrath of Man. That's the new Guy Ritchie movie starring Jason Statham.
I mean, sure, I'm in. 2 thumbs up.
May 28th, Quiet Place Part 2. Not a fucking peep. That's
2 thumbs way. Sorry, horror. 2 thumbs down. Pass.
Okay.
Wait, slow down. I don't remember. You guys talked about the first one on the show, right?
I mean, I was there for it, but I don't do horror. My life is scary enough. I don't need to spend money to be more scared.
We don't do horror either. I saw that. And
Yeah, that's scary.
Mm,
It's a good movie.
I'm not really excited for the second one, but I thought the first one was good.
It didn't require a sequel. Anyway, Chris, carry on.
I will say that
That's
money
true.
gave John, what's his name? Krakowski? Krasinski. That gave him Tom Hanks level fuck you money, right? Because he directed that thing too, and it cost no money. I mean, he walked out of that the freest man in all of Hollywood.
Well, and we were just talking about the economics of Hollywood. Thomas just said that didn't require a sequel. Well, I mean,
Wow.
here's the thing: is the economics of Hollywood say yes, it did.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, May 28th, Cruella, starring Emma Stone, a prequel to live action prequel to 101 Dalmatians.
2 thumbs down. 101 Dalmatians is one of the biggest pieces of shit in the entire Disney catalog. It is down there with the Rescuers and the Aristocats and the god awful Robin Hood, which I think they have pulled out of the catalog, right? Was this part of the Disney expunging of things?
What Robin Hood?
I think so.
The animated one.
The
Is it
animated one. Yes,
Is it
the animated
culturally
one.
insensitive or something?
You know what it is? It's a fucking cultural abomination. It should be. There are probably a dozen Disney movies, animated movies from the 1970s, which should be disappeared because they are a shit stain on the legacy of Walt Disney. This is when that place was hitting rock bottom, and people forget the pre-Little Mermaid, Disney was like on the verge of dying. And the Little Mermaid absolutely turned everything around for that company, and so I hate.
I just found
all
out
the
that
Dalmatian
those
stuff. Pass.
that the guys who did Little Mermaid went all the way through and did Moana. It was their last film together.
When you say the guys,
The
It's a
guys who
pair.
directed-
They're two
the guys who
directors. It's a
directed.
pair.
Yeah,
oh
they
really?
they
They did Aladdin. They did.
I mean, there's
Princess and
the
the Frog.
making of Little Mermaid is really good because there's an enormous amount of talent in it. Like Tim Burton is a storyboarder, I think, when they're doing it, and he's like just this weird 24-year-old. It's like, he hasn't become Tim Burton yet. God, sorry.
Quick question about 101 Dalmatians. I don't know if I've ever seen it. I was raised on Disney, and we had these little books with these tapes that would play the music and like read along to the book. When the chimes ring like this, turn the page. And so I don't. A lot of these movies I don't know if I've seen or if I just experienced them that way. But what did she want to do with the she wanted to essentially kill
Make
and
a
skin.
coat. Yes.
She wanted to skin it's
because what rich person from New York doesn't want a coat made of dog fur?
and this is a kids movie that where the villain wants to kill and skin these dogs.
I put Lady and the Tramp in the same category. All of those movies, absolute garbage.
The name
Fox and the Hound.
The names of the two guys are Ron Clements and John Musker.
Clements and Musker. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a great discussion of Fox and the Hound in a Whit Stillman movie, but we'll move on. June 18th, Luca. This is a Pixar movie going straight to Disney Plus.
What is this?
A movie of
Two thumbs down.
Luka Doncic.
Pixar. I don't remember the last time I saw
Luka
Pixar.
Doncic.
I don't think it's about the Dallas Maverick. No.
I don't
From
remember
Slovenia
the
or
last
wherever.
Pixar movie that I liked.
You didn't like Soul.
I didn't even watch it because, again, I don't remember the last Pixar movie I liked.
Can't like him if you don't watch him. All right, June 25th. Are you ready for this?
Yeah. Bring it.
F9.
Oh.
And we're not playing Battleship. Two thumbs up for...
Two thumbs way up. Fast and Furious. Are you kidding? Bring it. And then this one, we get Charlize Theron as a good guy, I assume. Yes.
This one's gonna fund the statue of Paul Walker like the statue of Superman in the Zack Snyder universe.
So he's got someone's pissed at him and gives him a small dick. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It's gonna be Paul Walker in his car.
It's
changing
like
the radio station.
July 2nd, Top Gun: Maverick.
So I was not into it until that second trailer. The second trailer looks pretty fucking awesome. I'm in. Two thumbs up.
Did Tom Cruise do all his stunts?
I believe that all of the plane stuff is CGI, right? Isn't this the wrap on it? Is that every single plane thing in it is CGI'd, and yet it looked pretty good.
July 2nd, Minions: Rise of Gru.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, I'm sure I will pay money for it in order to amuse my children for 80 minutes. But
Thomas will watch the porn, which also has the same title. I just came up with that. July 9th, Black Widow.
Yeah, two thumbs away. I've been waiting for a Black Widow movie since Captain America: Winter Soldier, which is when I think that when Scarlett Johansson totally came into her own with the character. And I think Scarlett Johansson is just awesome. I like her in almost everything she does. I love Natasha Romanoff as a character. Sign me up.
Question: Do you know what other characters are going to be in this? Have you looked at the cast?
I have not.
Okay,
but I assume this is basically a spy movie and not a superhero movie.
But they're not going to insert, so to speak, Falcon or Winter Soldier.
I don't know because I haven't. I'm sure if I looked at IMDb, I could figure it out. But I believe
obviously we could. But
this is all like pre-Shield, I think.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, so we're going way back. Okay.
I think so. I mean, I think we get the Red Room, the whole 9 yards.
Okay. July 16th, Space Jam 2. There's a subtitle. I don't remember what it is.
Pass.
But July 16th, Cinderella. This is a Sony live action musical, which I guess I don't understand the rights. Is this common? Is this like public domain or something?
Yeah, the story is it's like the turtle. It's like the Aesop fables or something.
Okay.
Pass. No, thank you. Thumbs down.
Is it that famous Norwegian Hans Christian Andersen? Did he write Cinderella, Thomas? Is he one of your people? No. Okay. July 23rd, The Tomorrow War, which is a Chris Pratt time travel flick.
I've not even heard of.
I just found it out today when I was looking.
Pass.
July 23rd. These are my notes. They're kind of messy. All I see is Old. It might have a longer title, but it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Pass.
July 30th. Jungle Cruise, starring Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson.
I mean, this is Disney based on the
ride.
The ride,
Yes.
right? And yet, I believe the trailer looks amazing, and Emily Blunt is great, and The Rock is great, and The Rock and Emily Blunt together. I mean, do you think when she was at Cambridge, she thought to herself, someday I'll be in a cinematic entertainment with that fellow from the wrestling?
Out a ride at Disney.
She was really hoping for It's a Small World, but
It sounds so stupid, but it's probably going to be great.
I'm super into it.
Jonathan, could you rank for us a quick ranking of the movies based on Disneyland rides?
Number 1, Pirates of the Caribbean. That's it, right? I mean, there is no Space Mountain. There is no Great.
There is the
Runaway.
Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion.
Oh, there's the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion.
There are others.
I don't think there are. Are there?
Tower of Terror, Tomorrowland,
Does Captain EO count?
Yeah, Tomorrowland.
Mission to Mars.
Captain EO. Love Captain EO.
That.
All right.
The Michael Jackson one.
Yeah, it is.
August 6th. The Suicide Squad.
I don't know. I hated Suicide Squad. I really liked Birds of Prey. I'm so confused.
James
Look,
Gunn.
I'll
though.
close my eyes and we'll experiment and see what happens, but I can't promise I'm going to like it.
So I was really confused when I saw that this movie was coming out. I was, what is this? And so I didn't realize that as soon as James Gunn was fired by Disney, that Warner swooped him up and pushed back Guardians 3. And then they rehired him because they're like, well, I guess if he's not in movie jail, then we'll take him. All right. Free Guy. I'm sure you, I'm sorry. This is August 13th. Free Guy. This is the Ryan Reynolds movie where he's a character in a video game. Is that Ryan? Is that?
Yes, that's correct. It was supposed to come out like
a year and a half ago or something.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds doesn't do anything for me. Pass.
Doesn't make it move a little?
Not even a little.
What about when he's got that scarring on him and he just like looks burned?
Doesn't do it for me.
It's like when you've seen the first Deadpool movie, you don't ever need to see another Ryan Reynolds movie again.
Because he's done all of the Ryan Reynolds in it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any other Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
Okay. August 13th. I don't know how to say this. Is it Bios? It's a Tom Hanks movie.
Pass. When's the last good Tom Hanks movie?
Greyhound. August 20th. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Paw Patrol, the movie.
If you tell G Money that that's a thing, I will cut you. Because I am telling you that if he knows that exists, Shannon will refuse to take him, and I will be the one who has to go to the last remaining movie theater somewhere on Earth and sit there with G Money listening to the insane techno music of Paw Patrol.
What's the bad mayor's name from the bad city? What's his mayor?
Cheese? I don't know.
No, can't remember. It's been a while. My kids are older. September 3rd. Shanghai and the Ten Rings. Are you familiar with this? This is a my notes say it's a Marvel martial arts action movie.
I mean, is this part of Iron Fist? I don't know.
Iron Fist, I barely know her. No, that doesn't work. September 24th, Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Venom, this is a real thing?
It's a real thing.
Is Tom Hardy going to be back?
Woody Harrelson's playing, yes, and Woody Harrelson's playing like another Venom adjacent character.
So I
Tom
am
Hardy's in it, I'm in it.
assuming that Tom Hardy is trying to sabotage this movie from within. And so I want to see it just to see how that all works out.
All right, October 8th, No Time to Die.
The James Bond. I have not liked a James Bond movie since Quantum of Solace. The new No Time to Die looks great. So I will foolishly get my hopes up to go see it and then be disappointed.
Ryan, is
Quantum
it
of
true?
Solace is sneaky good. People dismiss it because it followed Casino Royale, which is the greatest James Bond movie ever. And it isn't that good, but it is
If
still
you
a
watch
very good movie.
back to back, like in like close proximity, Quantum of Solace is really good. But if they're spread apart too far, some people didn't like Quantum of Solace, but I liked it a lot.
Ryan, is
It's
it
way
true?
better than Skyfall, which everybody just
Yeah.
jizzed over. Skyfall is a garbage movie.
It's true that the new James Bond movie, No Time to Die, Ryan, is it true it's 7 hours long? Do I have that right?
I don't. Yeah, I think so. I don't know where you go.
All right, we're almost done with the
Sounds
year.
right.
October 21st, Dune.
Do
Timothy Chalamet.
we have to do Dune? Is this a thing we have to do as a culture? Do we have to go back to the Dune Wars because if
Denis
you remember,
Villeneuve.
think
Denis.
back to ninth grade, and there was always the one kid in your honors English class who was like, actually, Dune is so much better than Star Wars or Star Trek. In Dune, they have the spice, and it's more realisticer. And I fucking hated that guy. And I mean, Dune is fine. Dune is fine. If you are a middle school kid who has never read any sci-fi before, and you are dipping your toe into not even really hard sci-fi, but like softcore sci-fi, then it's fine. It's nothing better than that. And I don't really feel like I need a movie about it. Do you? Are you guys into Dune? You're not Dune guys.
I'm into
Oh,
Denis
wait,
Villeneuve. I've liked almost all of Denis Villeneuve's movies.
Yeah, I'm excited
It's
for a
pronounced
big budget.
Villeneuve.
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 Well,
I'm a
Ryan,
little excited
Ryan,
What?
Ryan also sits through movies that are 10 hours long. So I don't know.
What
You
movie
wanna-
if I
you
sat through
guys-
that was 10 hours long?
Are you guys into sci-fi stuff? By which I mean books, or no? Are you guys all too cool
Well,
for it?
I mean, I'm into the Expanse.
Thomas, why are
and
you
then,
pointing at your giant? at
What's
your
that?
fiance?
I started that other one that Jan said I need to start.
Salvation?
Yes.
Oh, have any of you guys read the Salvation series? Oh, it's so good. Do you like it, Ryan?
I'm like halfway through the first one. I had to stop because there's a sequel to a book that I read. I think it was called like Infinity or something like that. But that got released while I was in the middle of the first Salvation book, and I had to stop. And
I'm a third of the way
do that
through the
sequel.
final book in the Salvation trilogy, and it's
Holy Lord.
great. Oh, it's so great.
Wow.
Thank you, Jen. All right, sorry.
October 22nd, Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins.
Okay,
They haven't
I'm
killed
sorry.
G.I. Joe?
I'm sorry. So this is not a bit.
Not a bit.
You've just asked me this, and I have reached over onto my desk. Who's that? Who dat?
Snake Eye. That's Snake
Yeah.
Eyes.
That's right. Sign me up, baby.
Oh, this
I didn't know
this
they were
isn't a-
making more G.I. Joe movies.
This isn't a sequel to that Nicolas Cage movie?
Did you notice that this is? Wait a minute. Scarlet, Snake Eyes, Cobra Commander, but it's called Action Force. This is the British variant of G.I. Joe. What? Did I just blow your mind?
So it's not the Lepin. It's just the British one.
Exactly.
November 5th, Eternals.
Is this the Marvel?
There's a Marvel.
Eternals
I don't know
stuff?
if you're familiar with that.
I hate it. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. Pass.
Pass. Okay.
The Eternals is the Marvel crap version of the DC New Gods, which itself is crap.
Okay.
There.
November 11th, we're going to honor our veterans by coming out with a new Ghostbusters movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife, starring Paul Rudd. I think Jason Reitman is directing.
Pass.
November 19th, Mission Impossible, actually this one mission is possible, but really hard.
I mean, if it's a Mission Impossible movie, I'm there.
Okay.
Chris
On
hasn't
HBO
seen any of them.
Here, this one, I don't have a date. This must be November, though. HBO Max, King Richard. This is Will Smith playing the father of Venus and Serena Williams.
Okay, I'm sorry. So we're not doing Will Smith doing Shakespeare.
No.
Okay.
But I guess it's also focusing more on him than his daughters.
I mean,
Why?
I mean,
Why not?
he deserves most of the credit. Let's be honest.
I mean, sure. I don't want to get myself into trouble talking about the Williams sisters. I like Venus Williams a very great deal.
He's kind of a
Venus
monster.
Williams is awesome, but Richard Williams
you-
is a monster. And
I'm sorry, Thomas. What?
Are you out of movies yet?
I have 4 more.
Oh my gosh.
so we're
November
just doing all of
24th.
2021 here, huh?
November 24th, Encanto. This is a Disney animated musical from Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Sure. I mean, I'll take a chance on that.
December 10th, West Side Story, the Steven
Pass.
Spielberg.
Pass. I hate West Side Story.
December 17th, Spider-Man, Home is Where the Heart Is.
Yeah, well, sure.
December 22nd, The Matrix 4.
I mean, yeah, it's a car wreck, right? You got to see it.
Last one, December 22nd, The King's Man. I think this is a prequel to Kingsman.
I don't love the Kingsman stuff. Is that okay? Can I say that? I know it's my boy.
I like the first
I know
one.
it's my
The second
boy.
one was. I don't think I finished the second one.
The second one is just not good. It's not
Yeah.
good. It's not good. There, I said it. All right.
I'm done.
Oh, what are you drinking there, Ryan?
It's a shotgun spiked seltzer,
Oh,
Sunset 77.
interesting.
I have a question totally unrelated to anything we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Ryan, how many streams do you suppose can go simultaneously on your HBO Max account?
I suppose that
We'll find out.
Well,
yeah.
I have my own HBO Max account.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Ryan-
but they don't.
Ryan, you should-
they're both
Ryan,
locked in mine.
Ryan, you should give him your code.
Let's start.
Let's do this and be legends.
Fuck it.
Oh,
We'll do
wait,
it
hold
live.
on.
All
Hold
right,
on.
so I've got it paused right when the fuzz goes away and the HBO is visible.
Well, hold on. I gotta get mine on so I can do the same.
Okay, that just went away. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop it right when the fuzz goes away. So what I see now is this, correct?
That's
That's
what
where
I
I
said.
am.
You guys tell me when to start.
Chris, you there?
I'm here.
I mean, are you?
It says 3 seconds for me. Is that where you are?
I'm at 4 seconds.
4 seconds. All right, hang on.
I'm at 3 seconds.
Okay. All
But
right.
do you want me to go back?
No,
No,
no.
I'm
Let's just-
I'm
let's
sure.
do a
I'm
countdown.
at 4
That's
seconds.
fine.
I'm at 4 seconds now.
3, 2, 1, click.
On behalf of the entire Disrupt conference, I would like to apologize for what happened out there this afternoon.
I don't
This
remember
man
what
will never be asked to judge again. I've just learned that he's
So,
been
JVL, you don't know
fired
this, but
from
I've
Oracle.
never even seen an episode of the
Apparently his
show.
wife left him. Anyway, I just
Well, it's interesting you say this. So we are watching the season 1 finale, Optimal Tip to Tip, or as it is colloquially known, Mean Jerk Time. And this is a great gateway episode into the show. So we are following a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys who have started a tech company in Silicon Valley and are trying to make it big. And the thing that happens is, first of all, they're all weirdos. And second of all, they always get this close to succeeding and then they fail and they trip on their own dicks. And the other thing that's interesting is that you will learn over the course of the show is that the guy who is the titular lead, who you're seeing right there on screen, what's the actor's name, fellas?
Thomas
Richard-
Middleditch.
Thomas Middleditch, whose character is Richard, who is supposedly the hero of the show. He's really the main protagonist, but he's actually the villain. And he is.
Wow, I
he
haven't.
is, he is the bad guy in all of this, and you will come to root against him. But it's going to be a little hard to do a full commentary if you've never seen an episode of the show and you're now watching it without the benefit of audio. Yes, Thomas? True? False?
You can. We did this once with an Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode. He'd never seen an episode of that before.
Can you hear it
So
though,
it'll be fun.
Thomas?
And read.
How? Oh, you're just closed captioning it. Ah,
Is
I
this
see.
where Gavin Belson reveals the dick logo?
No. So Gavin Belson is the real hero. So Gavin Belson plays a. It's funny. He is an original character. He's an amalgam of like 3 or 4 different Silicon Valley archetypes, but he's not really based on any one person. And
Elon Musk, Elizabeth Holmes. Who else?
No, he's got like some Steve Jobs in there, but also
the Google
some,
guys,
right? Some Larry and Sergey. But the company he runs, Hooli, is essentially Google.
right?
But it is as if it were a late middle-aged version of Google. So picture Microsoft circa 2010, right? So his company Hooli is always, floundering and just coasting on the fact that it's so big and chasing to catch up with everybody else. And what's super interesting about Gavin Belson is that he's this weird caricature. And he is the nemesis of Richard, Thomas Middleditch's character. But he is, at heart, kind of an okay guy, or at least he's still trying to be an okay guy. It's just impossible because of the station he's risen to in life. And, he's surrounded by yes men. And anyway, so he has come in on this show. This is weird, a TechCrunch Disrupt conference. And Gavin has just presented what is essentially Pied Piper's idea for compression. And so he has stolen it by what he did was he had the Pied Piper guys went in a previous episode to interview with a company they thought might acquire them. They brain raped them. They just stole all of their tech. And then Gavin bought that company. And so they are now trying to figure out what to do because they are presenting in the finals the next day, and their product was essentially just spit out by Hooli and Gavin Belson.
Yeah,
I would say there's a little bit of Jack Dorsey in Gavin Belson. I mean, he's got his guru guy, like who's a total fraud who comes in.
Yeah, so he's got a guru guy, he's got his head of security, he's got the board, and he says crazy things, and nobody ever pushes back. I don't know. Gavin is the type of guy that I wouldn't say I root for him. Do you guys root for him?
For Gavin?
Yeah.
I root for the idiots, even if Richard is the villain.
Right. Yeah. I think like Richard's definitely the least likable of the Pied Piper guys.
And you're saying he's the villain because he self-sabotages. Like he sabotages everyone around him, right?
He's a bad person. Richard is a bad person. Throughout the show, Richard does things that only bad people do. Right? Kiss my piss. Right? And he's petty and vindictive and impulsive and entitled. He's just bad.
Gabe is the only like real good moral guy. Like among these guys. Isn't that his name? What's his name? Gabe?
Yeah, the character's name is Gabe. I can't remember the actor's name, but he's like the
Satanist.
No, he's talking about
like the tall, lanky.
He's like their compliance. Zachary Woods is the
Zach
character.
Woods, yeah. The character is it's not Gabe.
Is that his name in The Office? Is that what I was thinking?
You're right. Yeah, that's his name in The Office. Jared Dunn.
Yeah, Jared.
He's
Jared. Okay.
That's who he
So
is.
he's a very gifted comedian. I like him. He's the most moral of the guy, but he's also possibly a psycho killer.
Oh yeah. He's got that look in his eyes right now.
Yeah. So we're catching Jared after he has not slept for 4 days straight and is hopped up on Adderall that he bought from a kid in the neighborhood of their flop house. But anyway, so these two, this is like the Waldorf and Statler. What are the characters' names? Somebody has the IMDb up. I've always just
I don't.
like, Kumail and
Kumail Nanjiani and what's his name? Hang on. I'll pull it up.
Star something.
I've
something
got
Star.
I've got real life Thomas Middleditch info if you guys want that at all.
Well, I was gonna say of the main four.
He's also not a good person in real life.
Right.
Oh, is he?
So
Oh,
so
did you miss? Yeah.
2018 he gave an interview with Playboy saying like swinging has saved my marriage. And then in 2019
Turns out it did save his marriage.
it didn't save his marriage.
It saved it for a little bit. So can I complain about Kara Swisher here? I like Kara Swisher generally as a writer. So Silicon Valley does a lot of bringing in real life people from Silicon Valley and giving them cameos. And every time Kara Swisher is in this, she sticks out like a sore thumb. Like she just feels like a put on. And you see this sometimes in movies where they bring in a TV anchor, right, to do a fake thing. And some TV people are really good at it and seem natural. Wolf Blitzer is great, right? Whenever there's a fake movie where they're doing a fake CNN newscast and Blitzer is doing his thing, totally great, totally believable. Brian Williams is not. Brian Williams is very bad at it. Kara Swisher more like Brian Williams.
I didn't realize that she was playing herself.
Yeah, she's just being Kara Swisher. But she is like, like an animatronic robot. I am on the set of a TV show.
I like how at one point he said something along the lines of, "We got a great name and we got a great logo. Let's do something. All we need is an idea." That's how I feel about all tech startup companies in Silicon Valley.
Who is this Indian guy, this character actor who you recognize from a million places? Anyone know?
I'm looking through the IMDb cast right now. He's got to be only in a couple episodes.
This isn't you doing a bit about how you can't tell Indian people apart?
No. Like, I just saw him in something else, like today.
The actor's name is Avinash. But it's been in The Walking Dead.
When have I ever pretended to confuse actors, Thomas? Come on.
This is the best Jared bit in the show. So he comes to, so he's going around like doing these man on the street things with, what do you think of Pied Piper? And he's like, what if I had an app that I could just track your child no matter what? You couldn't stop me. Found. So Monica, I don't know who the actress is who plays Monica, but number one,
Amanda Crew,
she is sneakily maybe the hottest woman on television, but also she is fabulous, and her part is never really given enough. And I always wanted more Monica on the show, because she is also a good person. Monica might be the hero of the show, honestly, even more than Gavin. She's just great. She's an audience surrogate in ways that none of the other characters are. She's a normal person, and she's ambitious and trying to get ahead, but she doesn't screw people over. And she's also really funny. They don't let her be funny very often. Her part just doesn't get she plays straight man most of the time. Yeah. But when they let her be funny, her comic chops are great.
It's interesting that you say that she's one of the best looking people on TV. I think she's intentionally like super good looking for nerds. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't put someone really good looking next to the nerds because they would just stammer. You don't think so?
No, I would agree. I mean, they don't let her. This is great. And then the cop would shoot. Do you have any weapons or drugs? Why, yes, I do.
No, I bought these down. Yeah.
Underage kid that I brought to my house.
His entire look is.
Yeah, he's being arrested by bicycle cops.
It's great. So it's very funny. So we are, all right, I think, we won't talk at all. We'll just let the audio here go for the people listening to the show. Yes?
I don't think they can hear the audio. Should I turn that on? Okay.
We can put it in. I mean,
We can put it in afterwards.
I can rip it and put it in the audio. So
This is the greatest dick joke in the history of dick jokes.
it really
Am I wrong?
they took it very seriously too. Like
that's what sells it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like legitimately trying to figure out like the mathematics of it.
So that our team could move forward. That's why we're presenting tomorrow. And you know what? We're going to win. Yeah. We're going to win even if I have to go into the auditorium and personally jerk off every guy in the audience.
That's a lot of jerking.
That's a lot.
And we only have 10 minutes to present, so we're fucked, aren't we?
Yeah, even if he's joking 2 at a time, there are what, 800 guys in that room, so that's 400 times whatever the mean jerk time is.
The what?
Mean jerk time. I mean, it doesn't matter, but hypothetically, time is equal to 400 total jerks at a 2-dick rate.
Unless Ehrlich jerks off 4 guys at a time.
doesn't
then we
matter.
cut that in half.
How would he do 4 guys? He's got 2 hands, so that's 2 dicks at a time, right?
Look, you have 2 guys on either side with their dicks tip to tip, so you're going full length. 4, see?
Oh, from the middle out. That does make sense.
Like 2 shake weights.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do, hypothetically, is minimize time, which is 800 dudes multiplied by mean jerk time, divided by 4 dicks at a time. Of course, Ehrlich would have to pre-sort guys by height so that their dicks lined up.
Not by height, technically. The measurement that we're looking for really is dick to floor.
Dick to floor.
Call that D2F.
Huh. Oh my God.
You know, if a guy's dick was long enough, he would be able to reach up or down to another guy with a different D2F. The longer the dick, the greater the D2F bridge. I would still be able to jerk it off in one smooth motion. I would just have to jerk it on an angle.
So D2F sub 1 needs to equal D2F sub 2, and D2F sub 3 needs to equal D2F sub 4, where length L creates a complementary shaft angle. Call that theta D.
A complementary
now, the orgasm
shaft.
threshold
God.
is a function of lambda
Theta
sub
D.
I.
Such an idiot.
times
Middle
the
out.
previous orgasm.
Middle out. Middle
Normalized for
out.
the
Oh
parameter
my
and the
God.
subject's
How
age.
could I just... Ah.
Guys,
This is great.
does
None of
group
them care at
similarity
all what he's
affect
doing.
Ehrlich's ability to jerk
They're just
different
right
dicks
back to the problem.
simultaneously?
Got to factor in girth.
Shit, yeah, I think it would.
But this dude is actually working on something.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him the
So
idea.
he's
his
changing the
algorithm.
entire company.
Time to orgasm, or T2O,
Still working.
has to be the same for each matching pair of dicks. Otherwise, I'm wasting a lot of great strokes on a guy that's already busted.
Unless you cross-swap.
Oh, wasted any
down
sweet
stroke, you get a new
strokes.
one in, so when you stroke up, you're not wasting any energy.
The guy that's already busted.
Guys,
JBL, has Shannon seen this episode and this scene?
Many, many times.
He did seem pretty bummed out.
In fact, we watched it last night because I wanted to refamiliarize myself with it before we watched. Now, I have not yet watched this with my mother-in-law, but it is on the agenda. Believe me when I say that Peggy and I are going to watch this, and it's going to be amazing. All right, so we have just finished
Knock down the door.
the greatest dick joke ever. I love their choice here to only give us Richard's headphones and to take out all the audio from them actually knocking the door down. And anyway, so it's the next morning, and they have solved the mean jerk time dick to floor ratio. We get the shot of the whiteboard with all of their drawings. And Richard has invented middle out compression, which is going to revolutionize the way the entire internet works. So that's the rest of the show. What do you guys think of TJ Miller?
So, I've always so he was on a podcast that I listened to before I knew of him from like TV shows or movies, and I always found him funny on that. But he does always kind of play the same character. I've always liked him. He's kind of had a tough time, I think, like by calling in a bomb threat on a woman who made fun of him on a train. He got arrested for that. That was probably bad.
Didn't he get kicked off the show for Me Tooing? Like, no?
I don't know if it was that,
or did he?
He was just hard to work with because he's one of those guys that's just like, he's always going 1,000 miles an hour. And
also, he's always high. The other thing,
too,
I think
yeah.
that's part of it, right? I mean, but also, I think he and Middleditch had personal conflicts, and Middleditch wanted him off the show, I think, because T.J. Miller got a lot of the press for the show, right? Whenever you saw people writing about Silicon Valley, they would write about him or Mike Judge, and nobody would talk about Middleditch.
Yeah, I think that was a bit. They definitely had conflict on set.
Yeah,
and it was easy. I mean, he basically got kicked off. Like after he got in trouble with the police for like calling in that bomb threat, it was an easy. He wasn't on again after that. For the last season.
Honestly, I think the show really missed him too.
I think so.
Like, I think once he's off the show, there is a hole there that never gets filled, and they never really move past it either, right? They keep Jimmy Yang on the show in a small part, but they actually never give Jimmy Yang enough to do. Jimmy Yang is really, really, really funny, and they just never give him enough business.
He has a stand-up special on Amazon. It's really funny.
Is it great?
Yeah.
That is a big room of nerds.
Yeah. Big Head, the other thing, Big Head, one of my favorite characters on the show. Big Head, also a good person. Right. And so the first time we see that Richard is a bad person is when he fires Big Head. You guys remember this?
Yeah.
He pushes out his own roommate.
I'm a big Martin Starr fan. He makes me laugh. Like, he's fantastic. And he's kind of a guy who does the same thing, and like he doesn't play a whole variety of roles, but he's funny in everything he does.
Yeah. And it's funny to watch Camille here pre-Marvel, right? So he has a Marvel movie coming up, and he has gotten like super buffed out.
He's super ripped.
Right?
Yeah.
Super ripped now. And it's funny watching him back in his stand-up comic, pudgy guy days. Let's hope for all of us.
What's the name of it, the hero that he's going to play?
Iron Man? I don't know. I don't know who he's
Pakistani Tony Stark.
Is it a movie or is it a show? I thought it was.
I don't know. But he's coming into the Marvel universe, right?
Yeah,
well, I
a
just
Marvel
mentioned
character.
two new Marvel projects that I just know nothing about. One was this martial arts one, and one was Eternals. Is he in one of those?
The Eternals. He's in the Eternals. That's what it is.
Okay. I don't know a thing about that.
I don't either.
But is it in the last season of the show you can kind of tell that they're trying to hide his giant muscles?
I think so. I think you can really see that he started to bulk up.
Well, we got through the dick joke. Should we wrap? Or, I mean, Thomas is in like, should we let Jonathan go so he can get some sleep before?
Yeah, there's like 8 minutes left. I mean, it's not.
Okay.
So this is the end of season 1, and nothing really important happens for the rest of this except that it's moving the story along. And if you were going to criticize Silicon Valley, which I generally like quite a lot, it would probably be that even though there is forward progress in the story, there's no forward progress in the arcs, really. Right, the characters just doing the same things over and over again. It's Sisyphus, right? They get to the top of the hill, the rock rolls back down, the company goes bankrupt. They then fly by the seat of their pants and capture everything, and then things go bad again.
Yeah.
Do you know what it kind of reminds me of, Ryan? Another H-Bomb X show. Talked about it last week. Entourage. It's like Vinny's career. Like throughout the course of a season, you're like, it's gonna happen. Oh no, it's not gonna happen. Like it's up and down. It's the same thing.
Well, and I'm not an Entourage guy, but the other thing is that none of the characters change while the Sisyphus thing is going on, right? So when I say that, the story is moving forward and that we keep learning new things about Pied Piper, the only character that grows as a person is Gavin.
Sure.
And Gavin is the one who winds up giving up all of this stuff and trying to become a better person. He signs his patent over to Richard for nothing, right? He leaves Hooli, goes off to his ashram, and it doesn't work out. He comes back, but the point is, Gavin is the only character who is trying to emerge and become a better version of himself.
Yeah, I mean, Camille and Martin Starr are just kind of doing their kind of jokey thing, kind of shirking their duties as coders.
And just trying to get rich. Like they don't care how. They just want to be hanging on until there's a big IPO pop and they can get rich and cash out. That's what they want. And
what is the name of the character actor who plays their first CEO? I mean, he's funny in everything he does, and he's great in this.
Who was the first? Was that Steven Tobolowsky?
Yes. Steven Tobolowsky plays their CEO. He's great. And the other thing the show misses is it misses Monica's boss, who I think the actor died.
Is that what happened?
And so they killed the character. Am I right about this, Ryan?
No, because don't we see him in later seasons? But then, like no.
He's the head of the VC firm. And can you effort that, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm trying to see. Because don't they bring in a woman to replace him?
Yeah, they bring in a woman to replace him.
Like an autistic woman or something.
Right, yeah, she's fine.
Who was that guy? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have rewritten all this code. I'm down to people that have only been in 4 episodes.
Gavin won. We lost. At least it didn't happen in a public and brutally embarrassing way.
So, JVL, do you like The Big Sick?
I have never seen it. That's the thing that Camille wrote and starred in to put him on a map, which is autobiographical. Yeah. This is how he and his wife basically met. They went out on a date. She got really sick, and then they fell in love and wound up getting married. Is it good? People like it. I just haven't seen it.
I'm not going to say a thing. I don't want to bias you against it.
The actor's name was Christopher Evan Welch. He played Peter Gregory.
Yes, Peter Gregory, right?
Yeah, he did die.
Yeah, so he died, and again, he was a great presence when he was there. Just a little bit of him went a long way. Because he was truly weird. The character was just a super weird character, and he was great.
But someone who you totally bought as like a Silicon Valley eccentric.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. And the stuff that he did with Monica, right, was the business they did when you were in the office together with them. I always wanted more time with the two of them.
So they end the first season on a high note. I noticed that there are 6 total seasons. Do they all hold up, or does it decline toward the end, or?
I mean, I think it definitely the seasons. Is it 1 season or 2 seasons without T.J. Miller?
I think it's 2.
Aren't as they try to. I think they tried. Didn't they try to replace him with some other crazy, someone who kind of brings the energy up a little bit?
The Trace Commas guy.
Yeah. So
what's his name?
That was so Christopher. His name was Hanneman, right? Russ Hanneman.
Yeah,
was
Russ
the
Hanneman. Trace Commas. Yeah, I guess he is sort of a substitute, but he's his own thing, and there's not enough of him. And
okay, I'm glad you say that because I thought you were gonna say you didn't like him because I was like,
no, Russ is great.
He's great.
Right.
He is so fun.
Look at these doors, right? These doors go like this. I need doors that go like this.
I mean, he might be my favorite character in the whole
This-
show.
Our billionaire dollars.
Yeah.
But he was in it. Wasn't he in it before even? He was in it while T.J.
Yeah.
Miller was still part of the show.
Because remember, when he
Um,
first walks in, he walks into the house with them, and he looks at Ehrlich and he looks at Jared, and he says to Jared, "This guy fucks." Right? And Ehrlich's like, "Yeah, no, I get around." He's like, "No, this guy over here, this guy fucks." And then later on in the show, when Jared leaves the company, right, Thomas Middleditch shows up at Jared's apartment because we never seen any part of Jared's personal life. And Jared's got like these two smoking girls over. And you're like, oh, Russ was right. Russ really could smell it. Trace Thomas vodka. Here's what I would say, Thomas. It is a funny show. You do not need to watch all of it. If you have watched one season is probably enough. But if you enjoy it, you could watch another. And if you enjoy that, you could watch another. But each season really does serve as almost a series finale. Like you could walk away anytime once you finish a season because after you've seen one season, you've seen the whole roller coaster. You know, you don't know every single bump and you don't know how it's going to end, but you know enough. Plus, I think the longer you watch, the more you hate many of the lead characters. Am I right or wrong about that, boys?
I think it's certainly right about Richard.
It definitely got. They kept having to invent new reasons for Richard to be like aggrieved.
Yeah, like he thought he was being principled when he was just being aggrieved. Is that what you said?
Yeah, basically.
All right, boys.
But one last thing, JVL, before you get to go to work or go to bed, whatever you're going to do. What is your favorite sitcom?
My favorite sitcom?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I tell you the dumbest thing in the world, probably Seinfeld. Every once in a while, I will dip back into the Seinfeld archive, and I am blown away by how well 90% of those episodes hold up, because the humor is not reference based, it's not cultural based, you don't need any, it doesn't matter that we have smartphones now, right, and texting. None of those things matter. It's all this keenly observed humor about the foibles of people. And so in the same way that Jane Austen is funny 200 years after, it was written, I feel like Seinfeld will be funny in 200 years. Is that crazy? Is that nuts to say?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, and the other thing that's when you watch it is those episodes are so lean. There is not an ounce of fat on. There's not a stray word, not a stray scene. Every single thing that's there is intentional and is doing work and pays off. And the quality of the writing is so good. And many of the comedic performances are quite good. I mean, Jerry's not the greatest performer in the world. But my God, it's just the writing. The writing on it is so perfect. Well, what do you guys like? If I'm going to ask you guys favorite sitcom.
Seinfeld is the right answer on this podcast.
Is it really? I didn't even know that.
I would probably, I think I would probably say Seinfeld too.
Chris and I also have a favorite in Blackadder.
Blackadder, yeah.
Yeah, I like Blackadder. I will say what my comedian friend Larry Miller is a good friend of Jerry's. I was having dinner at Larry's house once, and his wife, so Larry's a comedian and a writer. His wife is a showrunner. So she's one of these people who runs sitcoms, runs TV shows. And we were talking about their business, and Seinfeld had just gone off the air. And they said that we were now entering the nuclear winter of sitcoms. And I said, what do you mean? And they said, so Seinfeld has broken the sitcom. It was so perfect that every other situational comedy does not work now. And people are going to try for a little bit to do it. And then they're just going to turn and walk away from the sitcom as a form until somebody finds a way to reinvent it. And my God, if that's not what happened. right? So Everybody Loves Raymond dragged on for like 11 more seasons with a bunch of old people in the Midwest watching it and nobody else actually caring. And then it disappeared. And it's not until Malcolm in the Middle a little bit, but really Arrested Development. Arrested Development reinvents the sitcom as not a single camera show, but where it is
no laugh track.
Interestingly observed, no laugh track, but done from an absurdist point of view, right? So it's no longer like realish kinds of people, and it's much more literary. And that's then, I mean, Arrested Development starts the thing which gives you Parks and Rec and Community and the sort
30
of
Rock.
second 30 Rock, the second golden age of the sitcom. And but there's a period of like a decade there in the middle of it where Seinfeld killed the genre because it was so good.
There is, I saw the other day, I think I texted it to Chris and Ryan. I noticed that Last Man Standing is going off the air after like 8 seasons. And I was just gobsmacked. I have no idea who actually watches these shows. Probably the same middle-aged Midwestern people that watched Everybody Loves Raymond. But I'm amazed that piece of garbage got 8 years.
Yeah, well, but you know what? 26 million people a week were watching Everybody Loves Raymond. Last Man in the World, or whatever that's Last Man Standing. What the fuck that movie? That
Tim
Will
Allen,
Forte,
yeah.
the Will Forte,
Tim Allen.
right?
No.
Tim Allen.
Tim
This
Allen.
is a Tim Allen.
Tim Allen. Yeah,
this was
that-
all Trump supporters.
But
wasn't
it's
it?
all
what,
Trump supporters. But I bet it's like
like
9
8 million or-
people,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
I bet
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
it's
Yeah,
a
it's-
third of what it used to be.
Right.
And
And what's weird about that is it actually changed networks. I don't know of any other property like that.
Seinfeld?
went
Yeah, 'cause
from-
it-
Seinfeld.
Oh,
it-
Seinfeld did?
networks.
Okay.
Yeah, Seinfeld was an ABC show.
Really? Okay.
Mhm.
I don't remember that.
This
I
is
was-
this
I'm too
happens
young for that,
once,
yeah.
every once in a while. A show will change it. You know, I'm saying that, but I could be wrong. Somebody should
Because
double-check
when
me.
I do know that when they pitched the show, it's NBC. I assumed it was NBC the entire time. Okay, anyway, JBL, we are going.
I'm backing
we are
away
going
from
to
that. It's
let you
possible
leave.
I'm wrong. All right. Good night, guys.
Good night, JBL. Thank you for your time.
I
Thank you.
love all of you. It was good to see your faces, Thomas.
Yeah,
Christopher.
you should
Good to see
keep-
you. Thanks for coming
Ryan.
on.
Keep checking your mail.
Enjoy your orgy, Thomas. Enjoy it for all of us.
Oh, I will. I will make an extra effort now.
Bye, guys.